Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we continue reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 10.
Can I read?
Yes, please.
Can I read?
Yes, please do.
The Lord Chaitanya described the super excellence of Krishna's conjugal attraction. He felt transcendental ecstasy and catching the hands of Sanatana Gosvāmī. He began to proclaim how fortunate the damsels of Vrija were, reciting a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.14, 44.14. Gopyastapaha kim acharan yas amusha rupam lavanyasharam asambrodhvam anyasiddham drigahi pibanti anuswabhavinam durpam ekantadam yasya shri asharyasya. What great penance and austerity the damsels of Ravan must have undergone, for they are able to drink the nectar of Krishna, who is all beauty, all strength, all riches, and all fame, and who is the essence of all beautiful bodily luster.
So the super most excellent positions of the gopis, no? They're able to see the beauty of Krishna. They're able to relish the beauty of Krishna. They're able to understand the beauty of Krishna. And it's mentioned to drink the nectar of Krishna. And now we'll say that Krishna is a juice over that you're drinking the nectar. This is how it is. In the spiritual world, it's all nectarian. So with the eyes, they are drinking Krishna's beauty. With the ears, they are drinking the sound of Krishna.
The body of Krishna, the ocean of the eternal beauty of youth, can be seen to move in waves of beauty. And there is a whirlwind at the sound of his flute. Those waves and that whirlwind makes the heart of the gopis flutter like dry leaves on trees. And when those leaves fall down at Krishna's lotus feet, they can never rise up again. There is no beauty to compare with that of Krishna, who is the origin of Narayan and all other incarnations. For no one possesses beauty equal to or greater than Krishna's. Otherwise, why would the goddesses of fortune, the constant companion of Narayan, give up his association and engage herself in penance to gain the association of Krishna? Such is the super excellent beauty of Krishna, the everlasting mind of all beauty. It is from that beauty that all other beautiful things emanate.
So just as Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure, he is the reservoir of beauty. Why do beautiful things exist in the world?
Because Krishna is beautiful.
Yeah, that's right.
And to give us pleasure.
Yes, he's so beautiful. Yeah, that's why there is beautiful things in the world, because Krishna is so beautiful. So here the reference is also made that Krishna is even more beautiful than Narayan. That Lakshmi Devi, She wanted to go to Vrindavan. She said, I want to be with Krishna. You know, she is actually, she's always with Narayan. But then she's getting attracted. She wants to go to rasa dance. And so she tries to take up the penances because she also wants to associate with Krishna.
The attitude of the gopis is like a mirror upon which the reflection of Krishna's beauty develops at every moment. Both Krishna and the gopis increase their transcendental beauty at every moment, and there is always transcendental competition between them. No one can appreciate the beauty of Krishna by properly discharging his occupational duty or by undergoing austerities, practicing mystic yoga, cultivating knowledge, or offering various kinds of prayers. Only those who are on the transcendental platform of love of God, who engage in devotional service only out of love, can appreciate the transcendental beauty of Krishna. Such beauty is the essence of all opulences and is appreciated only in Golok Vrindavan and nowhere else. In the form of Narayan, the beauties of mercy, fame, etc. are all established by Krishna. But Krishna's gentleness and magnanimity do not exist in Narayan. They are found only in Krishna.
So Krishna's, what's pointed out that the madhurya, the sweetness, because Krishna is so sweet. And a reference is made to his gentleness, his magnanimity. He's very magnanimous. That's how he came as Lord Caitanya. Most magnanimous, most merciful. So even Narayan is not so magnanimous, not so beautiful as Krishna is. And his reference here that the essence of all opulences is Krishna's beauty. All the knowledge, fame, renunciation, strength, all that. His beauty is the essence. And that is in Golok Vrindavan. The most beautiful form of Krishna is in Golok Vrindavan. So what happens is the gopis are looking at Krishna and their love is increasing for Krishna. And because their love is increasing for Krishna, they are becoming more beautiful. They're already very beautiful. And Krishna, he's already very beautiful. But then he's looking at the gopis, loving him so much and looking so beautiful. And he is becoming beautiful because his love is also increasing. So they're both increasing. Their beauty is increasing, although they're already unlimitedly beautiful. And yet they are becoming more and more beautiful, more and more beautiful. Again, an important point. We don't know how to appreciate the beauty of Krishna. It's only the pure devotees who have the love for Krishna, who already have love. They can appreciate. They say, right, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. When somebody loves someone, then that's the most beautiful person for us. Like ask the mother, who's the best child? She'll say, of course, my child is the most beautiful. Every mother will say, my child. Because why? The love is there. So how to appreciate Krishna's beauty when the love is there? Automatically, the devotees appreciate. Krishna is, of course, he's already very beautiful, but to actually appreciate his beauty, actually appreciate his qualities. And that's why Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya, because he wanted to know, oh, what is Radharani enjoying in me? What does she appreciate in me? How does what she appreciates my qualities? What's the glory of her love? He wanted to understand that. So these are all affairs of love, loving affairs.
Lord Chaitanya greatly relishes the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. He was explaining to Sanatana, quoted another verse 9.24.65. Yasya anam nakra kundala charu karna brajat kapolo subhagam savilas hasam nityot tatrupu didribhi pivantyo nar Naryo narascha mudita kupita nimischa. The gopis used to relish the beauty of Krishna as a ceremony of perpetual enjoyment. They enjoyed the beauty of Krishna's face, his beautiful ears with earrings, his broad forehead, his smile, and while enjoying the sight of Krishna's beauty, they used to criticize the creator Brahma for causing their vision of Krishna to be momentarily impeded by the blinking of their eyelids.
So this is because the gopis have so much love for Krishna. That's why they're able to drink his beauty. They're able to appreciate his beauty, enjoy his beauty, and they're also cursing Brahma, for one, he does not know how to create. Just momentarily they cannot see him, so they are criticizing him.
The Vedic hymns known as the Kam Gayatri describes the face of Krishna as the king of all moons. In metaphorical language, there are many different full moons, but they are all one in Krishna. There is the full moon of his face, the full moon of his cheeks, the full moons of the sandalwood pulp spot on his forehead, which is a half moon, and the beautiful full moon of his fingernails and toenails. In this way, there are 24 and a half moon, and Krishna is the central figure of all of them.
This is poetry, poetic language, full moon and Krishna. Does anyone want to say anything? Does anyone have any comments or anything of what we are reading?
It's just I like the part that the eyelids one, how beautifully they are complaining to Brahmaji that why you gave us the eyelids, because it blinks and then for that moment Krishna is away from us. We can't see Krishna.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why they're so fortunate that they have this.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
The dancing movement of Krishna's earrings, eyes, and eyebrow is very attractive to the damsels of Vrija. Activities in the devotional service increase the sense of devotional service. What else is there for two eyes to see beyond the face of Krishna? Since one cannot sufficiently see Krishna, only two eyes, one feels incapable and thus becomes bereaved. Such bereavement is slightly reduced when one criticizes the creative power of the Creator. The unsatiated seer of Krishna's face thus laments, I do not have thousands of eyes, but only two, and even these two eyes are disturbed by the movements of my eyelids. So it is to be understood that the creator of this body is not very intelligent. He is not conversant with the art of ecstasy, but is simply a prosaic creator. He does not know how to arrange things properly, so one can see only Krishna. The gopis' minds are always engaged in relishing the sweetness of Krishna's body. He is the ocean of beauty, and the luster of his body and the beauty of his face and smile are all attractive to the minds of the gopis. In the Krishna Karnamrit, Krishna's body, face, and smile have been described as sweet, sweeter, and sweetest. When there are three kinds of contamination in the bodily constitution, convulsions take place. Similarly, a perfect devotee of Krishna experiences convulsions when he is overwhelmed by seeing the beauty of Krishna's body, face, and smile. Before Krishna's beauty, the devotee sometimes stays immersed in this ocean of transcendental convulsion without receiving treatment. Just as a patient suffering ordinary convulsions may be prevented by a physician from receiving a drink of water for relief.
So this is all the affairs of the pure devotee and Krishna. Sweet, sweeter, and sweetest Krishna's body, face, and the smile. Krishna's body is sweet, his face is sweeter, and his smile is the sweetest. And the pure devotees, going crazy with appreciating the beauty of Krishna.
The devotee increasingly feels the absence of Krishna, for without him, one cannot drink the nectar of his beauty. When the transcendental sound of Krishna's flute vibrates, the devotee anxiety to hear that the flute penetrates the covering of the material world and enters the spiritual sky, where the transcendental sound of the flute enters into the ears of the gopis and their followers. The sound of Krishna's flute always resides within the ears of the gopis and increases their ecstasy when they hear it. No other sound can enter their ears, and they are unable to reply properly to the family members. Questions for all these beautiful sounds are vibrating in their ears. Snehaji, you can read later. I think I will have to leave now. Sorry. The Lord Chaitanya explained the transcendental constitution of Krishna, his expansions, his bodily luster, and everything connected with him. In short, Lord Chaitanya explained Krishna, the essence of everything as he is. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Chaitanya explained Krishna, the essence of everything as he is. So essence of everything is Krishna. His expansions, his bodily luster. Yeah, because Lord Chaitanya was speaking about the incarnations, so many incarnations, and Krishna's beauty, Krishna's flute, his devotees. So the transcendental constitution of Krishna. Okay.
Chapter 11, Service to the Lord. Next, Lord Chaitanya explained to Sanatana Gosvāmī the process by which one can approach Krishna. The only process, said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is devotional service to Krishna. This is the verdict of all Vedic literature. As the sages declare, if someone inquires into the Vedas to determine the process of transcendental realization, or if someone consults the Puranas, which are considered sister literatures, one will find that in all of them the conclusion is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the only object of worship.
So, see, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So he's not saying, oh, I'm telling you to do devotional service, so that's why you should do devotional service. He's saying all the Vedas are saying you engage in devotional service. That's the conclusion, Vedic conclusion. If someone is a follower of the Vedas, then they have to come to this conclusion that worship of the only object of worship is Lord Sri Krishna. If someone is consulting the Puranas, the Vedas, then the only way of process of transcendental realization is worship of Lord Krishna. So even Lord Chaitanya is quoting authority. He's not saying, oh, I'm saying it. He's saying all the Vedas are saying it. The Puranas are saying it.
Krishna is the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is situated in his internal potency, which is known as Swarup Shakti or Atma Shakti, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. He expends himself in multiple forms, some of which are known as his personal forms and some as his separated forms. Thus, he enjoys himself in all the spiritual planets as well as in the material universes.
So Krishna is always in the internal potency, never in external energy. He's never in the material energy. He's never influenced by that. Always in the spiritual energy.
Krishna's separated expanded forms are the living entities who are classified according to which of the Lord's energies they are under. They are divided into two classes, eternally liberated and eternally conditioned. eternally liberated living entities never come into contact with the material nature, and therefore they do not have any experience of material life. They are eternally engaged in Krishna consciousness or devotional service to the Lord, and they are counted among the associates of Krishna. Their pleasure, the only enjoyment of their life, is derived from rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna. On the other hand, those who are eternally conditioned are always divorced from the transcendental loving service of Krishna and are thus subjected to the threefold miseries of material existence. On account of the conditioned soul's eternal attitude of separation from Krishna, the spell of the material energy awards him two kinds of bodies: the gross body, consisting of five elements, and the subtle body, consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego. Being covered by these two bodies, the conditioned soul eternally suffers the pangs of material existence, known as the threefold miseries. He is also subjected to six enemies: lust, anger, etc. Such is the everlasting disease of the conditioned soul.
So how many types of living entities?
Two.
Two types. And depending on which of the Lord's energy they are classified like that, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So which are the two?
Eternally liberated and eternally conditioned.
And so the eternally liberated, where do they live? And what do they do?
They are uh, they are engaged in Krishna consciousness, and they are never come in contact with the material nature.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always under spiritual energy. They're always under the shelter of spiritual energy. So they are always in Vaikuntha, never in the material world. Even if they come to the material world for some specific purpose, they're always under the shelter of the spiritual energy. And what about us, the eternally conditioned?
Condition.
And
Yeah.
under whose influence are we?
Under Maya, right? Maya,
Yeah, yeah, the material energy.
material energy.
Prabhupada writes, divorced from transcendental loving
Uh-huh.
service of Krishna.
And also,
Yeah,
I like the way he says that eternally conditioned.
yeah, eternally conditioned, because we can't remember when did we get conditioned. That's why it's eternally. It's time immemorial. And we are divorced from transcendental loving service of Krishna. It's true, no? We're like, oh my God, oh, I have to chant, oh my God, I have to read. So, and so then that's the reason we are subjected to.
The miseries, the threefold miseries of material
Yeah, do you
existence.
know which are the threefold miseries?
It's Adhyatmic, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Devi.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. And now because we are under this energy, material energy, what are we getting?
Two kinds of bodies: the gross
Yeah.
body, consisting of five elements, and the subtle body, consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego.
And now because we have these two bodies, what are we doing?
We
Yeah.
suffer from the pangs of material existence.
And eternally suffering because we are
Eternal.
eternally conditioned, we are eternally have this material body, so we are eternally suffering. And yet we think we are enjoying. Right? And we have this, and now see, lust, anger, greed, they are called enemies. But we are
Yeah.
thinking they are good things. But actually they are enemies. Why? Because they are making us suffer. They trouble our heart. That's why they are our enemies. They keep us here in the material world. Everlasting disease of the conditioned soul. That is what our position is right now. So then, continue to read.
Diseased and conditioned, the living entity transmigrates all over the universe. Sometimes he is situated in the upper planetary system, and sometimes he travels to the lower planetary system. In this way, he leads his diseased, conditioned life. His disease can be cured only when he meets and follows the expert physician, the bona fide spiritual master. When the conditioned soul faithfully follows the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master, his material disease is cured. He is promoted to the liberated stage, and he again attains to the devotional service of Krishna and goes back home, back to Krishna.
So then Lord Chaitanya is continuing to say that we are transmigrating all over the universe, sometimes in upper planets, sometimes in lower planetary system. Sometimes we are Lord Buddha, Lord Brahma. Sometimes we are animals or in hellish planets. And the disease is what? That we have the material body. We have the material disease. Because actually we are pure souls. We should not be having this covering of a material body. We should be in our true identity. But we have this disease, and the expert physician is the spiritual master. So the spiritual master guides us, gives us instructions. But it's on our part to follow the instructions. That's another whole thing. Are we following the instructions? But if someone follows the instructions, then he can engage in pure devotional service. That is liberated stage. That's liberation. That is nishtha. When the devotional service begins by hearing, chanting. So hearing, so then the stages are shraddha, then sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivriti. Then comes nishtha. Nishtha is the liberated platform, a firm faith in Krishna, steady faith, unflinching faith. So as the living entity engages in devotional service, is sure to get liberated, sure to engage in Krishna's personal service, go back home, back to Godhead.
So
Simply
the
have to
spirit, bona
continue.
fide spiritual master is the medium, right? For us to,
Yes.
who'll show us the
Yes.
path. Right.
Yes. Yes. True. To connect us to Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Shall we stop here for today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.